So the WordPress for Toastmasters software that I've been working on for a number of years is used by a small but growing number of the best Toastmasters clubs around the world, but it started right here. And so I want to make sure that we know how to use it as effectively as it can be used. So one of the basic things we want you to do is to be able to come into the site and navigate to any meeting agenda and sign up for roles. So this is a document that you can interact with in a multitude of ways, but the most basic is to click on that Take Role button and make yourself responsible for doing something for the club. Now if you're going to sign up for a speech, you can zoom in a little bit here, we can see that we want to really focus on setting the manual we're working from, or the pathways path, in a specific project. And you notice if I change from project to project, it'll also change the time requirement. You can edit that manually. Sometimes it's not correct, or sometimes there are different editions of manuals out there. And then put in the title and something for the Toastmaster of the day to be able to know about your speech in advance, to be able to say to introduce you. So a few notes for the Toastmaster. So we'll add that to this document, and we want to save that. So that's the most basic thing that I want you to do. But the main topic that I'm going to be addressing, actually before I get to the next step on my line, I want to talk about what you do when you signed up for something and you decide you can't make it. You can click on Remove Me and take yourself off the list as well. But it's really these menus across the top of the agenda that I want to make sure people understand what's there and what you can do with these things. So we have the Signup Sheet, which is the printable sheet that we're passing around the room. Make sure it makes its way around the room. But if you click on Edit Signups from any of these agenda documents, you go from a mode where you're taking roles yourself to one where you can assign roles to anybody else in the club. So if we scroll down a little bit, we'll see that on the drop-down list we have all the names of club members. They're listed by first name, by last name. And then one thing that's new is down the bottom we actually list people by when they last did the role. If they've never done it, they'd be listed up top, and if they haven't done it for a while. So this is a way of using that same information so that I can see that somebody hasn't given a speech in a really long time, and maybe I need to nudge them along and get them assigned to do that speech. So this is what you work with as an officer of the club, or just as the Toastmaster of the day, organizing a meeting, somebody calls you up instead of signing up on the site, or they email you, or they send you a WhatsApp saying that they can take a role. You can plug them in here on the agenda. Something else you see is down the left, it now lists a running tally of the times. So if we're going to devote more time or less time, we can make adjustments to that. Now I'm going to go up to Speaker, and this is, again, this is relatively new. If I click Tweak Timing for Speaker, I can adjust the total time that's allowed for those 3 speeches. Maybe somebody's going to give a really long speech, so I actually need to boost the total time, and we're actually going to have 2 speakers instead of 3. So I can make that change here and save it. And notice there's a little checkbox there that says Change Evaluator Count also. So when we change the number of speakers, we change the number of evaluators at the same time. And if we scroll down here, we'll see we now have 2 speakers and a backup speaker. So it's a quick and dirty way of making an adjustment to the agenda without editing the whole thing. We can, of course, print the agenda, or we can just show it on the screen through the agenda menu. The other thing we use a lot is email. So this is where I want to send out the whole agenda, say, wow, there's lots of open roles here. People really need to get involved in filling up the roles for this meeting. You may have gotten this last night, because that's when I was recording the video. And one thing here is it lists all the open roles, but it lists the link, the specific place that people need to go to sign up. So we're trying to engage them. We have an export to Word function, which is kind of a workaround. If you can't get it quite right on the website and you're trying to make it look pretty, you can download it into Microsoft Word. This is the agenda with contacts mode. It shows all the same assignments, but now it shows us their contact information. So if you're trying to reach out and confirm with people that they'll actually be showing up to do what they said they were going to do. And down the end, we have a list of members without an assignment. So those are the victims you can call up and say, can you help me out here? And finally, we have a view of just the speech introductions, that information that people have put into the agenda about what they're going to be speaking about. So that's something for the Toastmaster of the day to print before the meeting, or for you to print and hand to the Toastmaster of the day if you think they might forget. So all this is designed to help us organize our meetings better and be more effective as a club, and I hope you make the maximum use of it. Mr. Toastmaster.